Former President Donald Trump's legal team appearing before the special master in the ongoing battle over documents seized from his Mar-a-Lago estate. Breaking news, guilty on all counts. The judge announcing the jurors' verdict earlier this evening in the trial of Derek Chauvin. With this shooting in the heart of Buffalo's Black community, we talk with Reverend Mark Blue, the president of the NAACP Buffalo chapter. Those imitation guns must now either be brightly colored or made of a translucent or transparent material. A major milestone as Juneteenth officially becomes a federal holiday. Beacon Skiff is now in the process of growing and processing cannabis through its sister company, Gen 5. The fire department working to figure out exactly what caused this fire. And fall-like weather settling in for the Rochester area just in time for the autumn equinox Thursday. I am so ready for fall. I know I've kept telling y'all. Let's go ahead and see how it's looking for the week with meteorologist Todd Kirkman. In your Spectrum News in 90, an ongoing investigation in the town of Greece tonight where officers say they found a man dead with a gunshot wound to the head on Vintage Lane. We're told he was in the driveway of a home. Police are still investigating what led up to the shooting, but say this is an isolated incident. Meanwhile, New York State Police are identifying the 19-year-old fatally stabbed in Williamson Friday as Arthur Edick. Troopers say he was stabbed during an argument with a 17-year-old. That suspect is charged with second-degree murder. Switching gears now, the city of Rochester breaking ground on the Buy the Block program today. 6 homes are being constructed in the northeast quadrant for income-eligible residents looking to buy their first home. The goal is to create generational wealth. Now, let's get a check of the forecast with meteorologist Todd Kirkman. Yeah, let's go ahead now and get your Tuesday evening started with the top story. It's been 13 years since Flight 3407 crashed in Clarence Center in Erie County, killing 50 people. An investigation showed the crash was because of pilot fatigue and error. Families of the victims of the crash lobbied to increase the commercial pilot training requirement to 1,500 hours, which led to the creation of the Airline Safety and Federal Aviation Administration Extension Act of 2010. Now, recently, Republic Airways asked the FAA for an exemption of the minimum training requirement, petitioning to lower it to 750 hours, but that request is denied. Spectrum News 1 reporter Revathi Janaswamy is joining us now, and you're going to be talking about the Federal Aviation Administration's decision here. Hey there, Revathi. All right, Revathi Janaswamy with that story. Revathi, thank you. It's something we've been talking about and covering quite a bit. So many of our communities being impacted by violence, especially gun violence, taking the lives of young people of all ages as well.
Yeah.
All right, Victoria, it's pretty incredible, especially when you think about those numbers, not including New York City. When you look at the state, it's really a pervasive issue. That's our Victoria Halakar with that. Thanks so much. Now, while Victoria did touch on some specific numbers in Buffalo, let's go ahead and take a look at some numbers here at home. As for the Rochester Police Department's homicide case solve rate, the department says it's closed a little more than 57% of incidents so far this year. That's at least 32 out of 58 homicides. And then taking a look at last year, there were 81 homicides total. About 61% of those cases have been closed. A medical task force is recommending changes to the way doctors diagnose anxiety disorders, including what age a person should be when screened. We're going to have more on how experts hope this will help better treat patients after the break. Stay with us.
This court needs to make a statement at this time. Our law enforcement is under fire from people that it has sworn to protect.
Just day before memorial services for Officer Anthony Mazurkowicz, fatally shot in the line of duty last week, the man who shot another Rochester police officer sentenced to 65 years to life in prison. Officer Brian Sheridan survived being shot by James Hunter while responding to reports of an armed man trying to break into a house.
Have been obstructionists and rude and blame everybody else at every single stage of this proceeding. You've taken no responsibility for your own actions.
Judge Michael Dollinger not holding back in court, saying Brown's actions were, quote, frightening and disgusting, end quote, adding he would give him more years if he could. Hunter, who defended himself, maintains his innocence, telling court He's going to fight to prove it.
I understand. I feel sorry for Officer Sheridan. You know, I don't have nothing against the police department. Anything that I do wrong, if I'm guilty, I'll take a plea for it.
Hunter's motion to adjourn was denied.
Well, quite frankly, since the time you were 16 years old, you've done nothing but commit violent felonies and be in prison.
Among the men in black and blue supporting Sheridan was Denny Wright, a fellow officer blinded in an attack during a mental health call in 2019. Officer Sheridan was in court but declined to comment.
It's had a profound effect on his life and his family, and it's had a profound effect on the department.
Chief David Smith says at the time of the incident, Sheridan's wife was pregnant with their child.
Any law enforcement officer does not know when they leave home if they're going back to see their family again.
The chief says Sheridan is still out from his injury, but hopes to have him back when he's ready. Reporting for Spectrum News 1, I'm Karen Edwards.